Welcome back to Whiskey Motorcycles. Like I said last week, this week we're on to the Sportster, and we're going to get that front brake fixed. So I've already got the caliper all ground down, I think, to my liking. I'll adjust that here in just a little bit to see if I want to do any more or not. Not 100% sure yet, but we'll see. And then first things first, though, we're going to get this wheel off here. I'm actually probably going to try to, went ahead and already got it on the lift, right? And going to, oh, what's this? Sorry, clicked the button on the camera. So I got this, the jack underneath there. I'm going to lift the front end up so I can rotate this tire a little bit and get around to this other side. And I'm going to try to drill out that piece while it's on the bike, so I can kind of get a little more straight on with it and easier to hold the drill and not get the tire going anywhere. Then I'll take it off and I'll clean the threads out and whatnot with the tap. But yeah, that's the plan for this week. Hopefully we can get this thing done and back on the road with the front brake. I've rode it to work a few times now without it, but it sure would be nice to have it. Okay, so I got the wheel pulled off. I ended up having to put a helicoil in that. I tried to drill it out, but where that bolt broke, I couldn't quite get it started center. So I did that. It's not my favorite thing to do, but it's the first time I ever actually used a helicoil, and I was pretty impressed how they work and how well it worked. But like I said, still not the best. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this wheel and stuff back on there. I just wanted to let you guys know where I was at. I need to let this camera charge up a little bit more, and then we'll get to putting the caliper and everything back on once we get this wheel back on the bike. Okay, so sometimes when you're working on your bike, little things go wrong. You start to fix them, and something else goes wrong, and then something else goes wrong, and something else goes wrong, and something else goes wrong, and you finally got to tell yourself to walk away. And that's what I'm doing tonight. It's nothing too major, but I'm just not with it tonight, I guess, and I've got to walk away from this before I screw up anything too major. Just trying to put the front wheel back on like I've done a million times. And for some reason when I did it this time, I did it correctly the first time. I put the spacers in the right places, the skinny side over here, and then the fatter spacer on this side, just like it's supposed to be. And the caliper and everything looked really close to this fork, or I mean the rotor looked really close to that fork. I was like, man, that don't seem right, something. Anyways, so second guessed myself, took it all apart, and I put the skinny side on the other way again, and I was like, man, that don't look right either. And in the meantime, when I was trying to get the axle out, it was not wanting to slide out easy at all. I don't know what the deal was, whether it was bound up or what. I'm starting to think one of my bearings in the wheel hub just got knocked loose a little bit at some point when I was pounding the axle out one other time. Somehow, which to me seems crazy, but I was pounding the axle out, and it was just, like I said, it's not wanting to come out. And I was using a punch on the very end of it, you know, where you're supposed to, and it had slipped off and I didn't realize it, and I screwed up my threads on it. It's not coming in real good in the video, but, and I thought, well, great. So I was like, I didn't have any kind of dies for that size. So I was like, well, I'll get a new axle. It's messed up enough that front axle's, I mean, not super cheap. I got one off eBay for 40 bucks. I used one that's in decent shape, but it's cheap enough that I'll just replace it. And but I was like, for now, I can still go ahead and put it back together, and I can just drive the nut on and it'll be all right. But when I went to do that, I put it on part way, and that's when I realized that I had to change the spacers back the way they were. So I went to go do that, got the axle back out there, and it was getting hard and hard to do it again. And I was trying not to pound it too much because right at the end it popped out last time. You know, it was like real tight hits and then it just popped out. Well, I did it again, and that bike's sitting right there. And I thought I got lucky. It literally shot and landed right in here. Like it hit right here and just landed right there. Not real bad, but you know, landed in there. I thought, wow, I was lucky. And then I seen that it just barely nicked on the fender. It's not really in a super noticeable place. It's not really that big a deal. But at the same time, I was worried about it in my head. I was like, man, I gotta be careful when I pound this out because I don't want it to fly across and bash in the rear fender or whatever this bike. And that's what it did anyways. So, and honestly, I can't say for sure if that was there or not before, but I really don't think it was. I feel like I would have noticed it, especially last time I washed it. So anyways, that's that. And the bearings, the sealed wheel bearings in there, I noticed one of them was pushed out a little bit too. So at some point when I was trying to drive that axle out, it must have just been bound just enough one way or another, and it was pushing that bearing out. So I tried to drive them back in there, but I think I don't know when I was, you know, putting that punch through there when it slipped off, if it also was hitting on the backside of that bearing or not, and I can't really tell. So I'm thinking about maybe replacing those. I'll probably try to check these ones out first just to make sure if they really need replaced or not. But yeah, I don't know. Tonight's just not the night, and I don't have to finish this by any means right now. So like I said, I got a new axle ordered. I'll check those bearings out, see if I need to order them. And when all that stuff comes in, then I'll come back out here and try again. I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's the simplest things. Like I said, I've taken this front wheel on and off multiple times, and it just wasn't, it didn't seem right either way, and I second guessed myself, and it was not it. So that's all I'm going to do. You guys will see it here in just a minute whenever I do get the stuff in and get it fixed. Hopefully it comes in time, but we'll see. If not, I'll do something else for this video. But either way, until you guys see me in a second, I take a little shot. All right, boys and girls, we are back. It's probably about a week later, but I got my new axle in, new used axle, with good threads, not messed up threads, like my old one that I did. I'll probably save this just in case I can ever use it for something later, and I can always fix those threads, but this was just the easiest thing to do for now. I think my bearings are fine. They seem like it. I'm going to double check them, make sure they're seated just right before I try to put that new axle through there. I'm going to grease that axle real good and try to get this wheel back on there, because once we get this wheel back on there, I should be able to put the brake caliper and everything back. I still haven't cleared it or nothing yet, so I'm not exactly 100% sure what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to try to like hook it up real quick and see if I think it clears good enough, like clears the spokes, and if it does, then I'll leave it and try to run it. Worst case, I'll take it off again and try to grind down just a little bit more at some point, but I took off quite a bit more, and it was just kind of barely hitting this last time. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on from here and try to get this thing done and off the lift, because I've been riding the Softail to work and it's been fine, but it still has that O-ring that needs replaced for those injectors. Sorry. And so I don't really want to ride it too much more. Not the best for it. So I've only really just been riding it back and forth to work, so it's not been nothing crazy. And it seems like after I messed with it, I got it seated a little bit better. It's not quite as bad as it was, but I can still hear it. So I'll have to, once I get this off lift, depends on how I feel, I may just go ahead and try to completely go back to fixing that one for now, because all I have to do is get one of those injectors off, figure out what injector it is, and order the new O-rings sets for those injectors, because I don't think I really want to replace the injectors. One, it's way too expensive, and two, if I'm going to do that, like, I'd want to try to find something that suited it better, so I'd want to go have it done and stuff, and I don't really need to do that right now, and it's not that important, and they work fine. So just going to try to get the O-rings for that. But anyways, I'm going to stop yapping, and I'm going to try to get this thing back on here, hopefully with no snags. Also, if you've noticed on the last few videos, I got a couple things on here now just because I'm out here moving some stuff around, but this workbench has been a disaster for a while. You probably see it in the background. I finally got that cleaned off, some things, but yeah, let's get started. Good news, wheels on, everything looks like it's good. We'll see once I actually apply some pressure to the caliper if it hits or not, but right now it's running pretty good and clear. The spacers were still wrong. The little one went on this other side, so both of them went on this side of the brake disc. I don't know what the deal was, why it wasn't looking or working out right both times. I don't know. I think the other day I was just second guessing myself a lot, or something. I don't know. Either way, we got it correctly now, and I'm cleaning some stuff off. I think I'm going to adjust the chain tension a little bit on the back because it's a little tight on the top part. I don't know how it got so tight, but the bottom's still a little bit loose, but up here it's a little tight. So try to work on that a little bit, get that loosened up, and obviously bleed the front brake out a little bit. But other than that, that's pretty much all that I had to do to this bike. Should be relatively good to go again. I don't know, we'll see. Obviously we'll have to ride it and test it out, but anyways, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just end this one off because like I said, I ain't really got a whole lot left to do. Got that stuff together. If I don't edit this before I ride it next, which I really might ride it tomorrow, I may come back real quick just to let you guys know how it did, if it was good. Just depends on if I get it done tonight or not, especially the bleeding part, bleeding on the brake. That might take a little while. Either way, if not, I'll update you in the next video and let you know. But if I get the chance to ride it before I edit this video, I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Alright, so same night. This is officially the end of the video. I've got it down off the lift. I've got the front brake bled. I adjusted the chain on the back wheel. The only thing I didn't do was put the chain guard back on because I have to cut a little piece off that, but that's an easy thing to put back on no matter whether it's on the lift or just on the ground. I'll just throw it back on once I get that done. But other than that, it should be sound and ready to go. I didn't ride it because it's late, but it wheeled around fine. The brakes felt good. It's not hitting the caliper anymore with the spokes, at least for now. Like I said, chain's good, and yeah, as long as it's not raining tomorrow. It's calling maybe rain a little bit, but I don't know what time of the day. We'll ride it to work and hopefully it's good to go. But either way, once again, thanks for joining in this week. Hope you're enjoying the random videos. We'll get back to some cool chopper building shit here soon, but until then, thanks for stopping by, and see you next week.